The two of you are sitting peacefully. Morrigan has made her little circle on the ground where she would normally meditate to reset her spells. What are you doing, Nicola?
I'm gonna go and just kind of sit over here and take a bit, almost like a bit of cover, just in case anything bad goes wrong. I'm going to ask. So, Morgan, what is your major abilities? What is it you do? What is it? I'm intrigued to know. I want to get stronger myself, and I would just like to know, like, what kind of stuff do you do, and do you pray to, and do you learn? Because I would like to get some knowledge in it.
You are one of the Dalish, correct?
I am, yes.
You gain your powers from a deity. Yes.
Sorry, yeah. I do. Now, the one that I get it from.
We wrote it in your character sheet.
Why is it not there?
Yes, it is.
Is it?
At the very top, character name, ancestry, and deity.
Oh, Gillenin. My deity is Gillenin.
One of the Elven pantheon.
Yep.
I see your abilities come from controlling the weather.
You sure do. Yeah.
You and I have very different understandings and disciplines of magic. I don't believe I can teach you what I do, or you can teach me what you.
Maybe not, but a bit of knowledge and the inside of how it works. I'm interested in.
I manipulate spirits. You interact with the primal energies of the world.
And in terms of the terms of the spirits within this castle, can you feel anything or see anything, or is there anything that you can kind of understand about what's happened here and what's going on through the spirits, obviously?
All right, Morrigan's going to make a skill check. See how well she figures this out. That's a pretty good roll. I have been trying to understand it since we arrived at this gate. The Revenants and the Sorcerer over there are the ones we draw our eyes to, but they are not the ones calling the shots. I believe the Revenant is simply a lieutenant. The Sorcerer is just another mindless puppet. There is an entity inside that castle that is controlling all of this, but I do not sense it in the physical world.
So, how do you then combat that? Is it only yourself that could potentially combat that if we had to fight said forces?
If it is an outsider, it cannot harm us, and we cannot harm it if it is not in our realm.
Right.
If it is acting this brazen and with this much control, I would believe it has found an anchor into the world where it can project itself but not be here.
And if we could find that anchor, we could stop this all.
Yes, but how to do so has many questions.
Yeah.
I believe everyone is coming to the same idea that Prince Connor is not Prince Connor.
Yeah, it seems to be.
Now, how to be rid of this entity is its own question. Killing the child is the most direct answer.
Is there any way to kind of find? We'd be able to find this anchor, or is the child potentially the anchor?
I believe that something has either coerced or possessed the child. Killing him is the most direct answer to removing this threat. But there are other ways.
So say we were to, if we had to kill the child, what would happen to the likes of all the undead and the revenant itself?
They would cease to exist.
That's interesting.
What do you think?
It definitely sounds dope. Like obviously, like if that's the way to do it, that's the kind of best way. Obviously, I think finding the anchor would be the most optimal way. But again, finding that anchor's
Could you slay a child, Nicola?
no, but I know people that could. Personally, no.
She smiles at you. Are you implying something?
I mean, I know there are people in this castle that definitely could
Oh.
would if they had to.
Are you one of the superstitious who believe witches as I capture babies and put them in stew?
I'm not. No. I'm talking about the people who are already in the castle.
I see no movements of our hosts. I would assume nothing's happened yet.
Yeah. Again, could you kill a child? Could you do it?
If I had to, yes. I would think nothing of it.
Yeah, I thought as much, to be fair.
If the child must die to save the town he controls, then that's what must be done.
That's fair. I personally, I couldn't necessarily kill a child, but again,
Then look the other way.
Okay, fine by me.
If our companions do not return by nightfall, we burn this castle down.
That's fine by me.
I am preparing to do exactly that.
And how are you planning on that? Is there anything that I could help with if needs be?
I have many great ideas. Just how aggressive we can move towards our hosts without provoking a reaction. I will leave that up to you. If you wish to help me bring the castle down, then you can assist. She's kind of like smiling fiendishly at you.
If it's something we have to do, Morgan, then I will help. I will aid, but it's not something I want to do in case everything is going fine in there. However, like I said, if needs must, then by all means, if it's a way to get them out, if they're thingy, then yeah, like we can do something to maybe distract them or something. But I don't want to just go out all out and just do it unless we know that they've maybe like killed them or something like that.
Sit here with me, Nicola. Sit and face me.
Okay.
Morrigan sits in front of you cross-legged in almost like a meditative stance while you do the same.
I'll sit down and do the same.
She closes her eyes and she puts her hands out towards you.
I'll put my hands back out then, I guess, and see.
You take her hands?
Yep.
Okay, you are going to give me a will save first.
Okay.
You can feel Morrigan going through your thoughts. But you have trained with this, with the first a few times, if you remember her name. This is a thing Magi do when they are trying to connect their abilities and act as one entity. It's not malicious. You can sense her struggling to break through your mental willpower, but as you figure out what she's doing, she's still trying to push through, is unaware that you're fighting her. Do you allow her to go through or do you fight it off?
I'll let her go through.
You feel as if there is a second person inhabiting your body now. But as you do, your soul almost starts to leave your body, and you see yourself flying up and looking down at the two of you. And you're maybe 100 feet in the air at this time, and you start to see the clouds behind you are starting to descend in front of you. They're getting very low, and you can feel them getting very heavy with water. Storms are starting to come in. So Evelyn and Theo are sitting there as Connor is anxiously awaiting Lucius to return, and the mother is desperately looking at you guys with absolute terror on her face, but unwilling to speak.
For my part, I would try and look at them the mother and like impart some type of it's going to be okay through my eyes and expression. I'm not sure how I would be able to do that. I mean,
You could try a raw charisma check.
raw charisma.
Yeah.
Hey, it's about as bad as my diplomacy.
Well, sorry.
No,
You are getting very lucky rolls today. I'll give you that.
But no, I'm not saying anything. I'm not jinxing.
She sees your intention and she just kind of nods and very slightly smiles hopefully at you. But her eyes do not leave Connor for very long. She keeps looking back at him. She's got the expression of a battered woman on her. This person just keeps kicking my ass, and I'm too afraid to say anything. How about you, Theo? Are you doing anything here?
No, I've tried to clearly talk the exact same as other people did, but the kid seems to not want to talk to me, so what more can I do? I'm the one...
He was rather insulted by what you were saying.
What? The exact same that everyone else was saying? That makes a lot of sense. Well, we're clearly dealing with a child then.
It is a child, yes. But everyone is kind of surmising, I think, what's actually happened here. It's up to you guys if your characters figure it out. You can continue to speak to him if you want to.
Quite honestly, Evelyn's not sure what to say at this point. We've made progress, and she doesn't want to burn any bridges that she's just started building.
Don't be shy.
The first time you burn something...
Lucius is the one with the sword in his back, not you.
Only get easier after you burn that first bridge.
I would, fine, then I would speak. I would look at the prince and I would say, good prince, if you don't mind me asking, how did all of this happen? I mean, I look at the undead behind me and I say, they don't just come about naturally.
They were provided to me to keep the castle safe until Father comes back.
Provided to you? By who?
Aren't you full of questions?
I just like to understand the situation that we're currently in.
They are under my command. You have nothing to fear from them.
Undead are far from the thing I'm most afraid of.
Then what do you fear?
The Templar.
Why?
Have to adjust this slightly. When I was little,
armors in the room pivot towards you when you say that.
When I was little, a dear friend of mine was taken away because he was a mage. They dragged him kicking and screaming from his mom.
That bothers you that much that you are now afraid of the Templar?
I look at him and I say, I'm an elf. I was born in an alienage in the cities. The Templars would come through on regular mage searches, and even if people weren't mages, they would still get brutalized. The Templar aren't good people. At least the ones I dealt with aren't. I'm only just starting to learn that there are some of them that aren't terrible, but that's just like, I look at Theo and I say, you learn a lot of people aren't as bad as you think they are until you've known them a few days.
Oh, I'm a piece of shit.
Do you just vocally say that?
Yeah.
Wow, that came out of nowhere.
I'm like, I give a bit of a sigh at that. I'm like, But yes, that's why I'm scared of the Templar, because my whole childhood they were brutes. And they took people from me.
Ruling through fear is an efficient means.
It makes disquiet people.
Disquiet people are weak and ineffective anyway. Having to rule by force is expensive and difficult. If you can rule through fear, it takes half as much.
If you rule through fear, it eventually breeds revolution.
Then you're not using enough fear.
Out of character, Avalon, you're going to need to start doing something because this kid's starting to turn Theo into his side. I mean, Theo doesn't mind ruling through fear.
Hey, I figured you'd guess pretty quickly that the Revenant was a lawful evil.
I mean, hey, he seems reasonable so far. He hasn't tried any dumb shit.
The Revenant is in control of his own mind.
I mean, he's probably a spirit of tyranny or something like that, to be honest.
There will always be disquiet people, but the more disquiet people you have, the sooner your society and your control will collapse. We've seen it happen. Why would it happen again?
So you are suggesting that I hire more forces?
I am suggesting that you try and appeal to...
I have nothing against being kind to my subjects. But they need to stop harboring a criminal who attempted to murder my father. When the murderer is found, everyone else's name will be cleared, and I will have no reason to treat them as such any further. But the longer they defy me, the more they prove that they would rather my father dead and me gone than justice be delivered.
I look at the young man and I say, when did this turn back to being about what happened with your father and not about what I was afraid of?
I liked your sidestepping of why you were afraid of the Templars, because generally that is a consent only by wizards or family members of wizards. Let us return to that topic, shall we?
What topic is there to go to? I'm not a mage.
Are you not? I like Nicola's idea. Just someone throw him a penthouse. Jesus, he'll be fine. Let's throw him a penthouse and some posters. Be like, go to your room for half an hour. You'll come out feeling better.
This kid is a certified fucking dweeb. That's what he fucking is.
Give him a yo-yo, it'll be fine then.
Nah,
Dude,
man.
Nicola, just start like opening up the top of your shirt and he'll calm down. Jesus.
Not with mine.
Well, I guess I shouldn't be too surprised
So,
about the situation.
do you believe your mother is to be a part of the downfall of your father?
You see a thought go through his mind like he'd never considered it. And he gets up and he turns to her.
That is a question I'm addressing to you, Connor. Not to your mother, because I assume your mother has been here with you this whole time, but yet
She has.
you mercilessly beat her for no reason whatsoever. When she tries to speak, don't allow her to speak.
She doesn't need to speak.
Why not?
She is here to be arm material for my father to look important. As of now, she serves no purpose.
She's your mother. She gave birth to you. She serves every purpose a mother would to her son. That's not an attitude a son would have towards a mother. Has your mother done any harm to you in any such way?
Her purpose is to look for my well-being, and instead she simply told me what I cannot and should not do.
So she tried to help you be a responsible adult. She tried to teach you about the order of society and why it is important within society.
She is looking at you with a bit of pride in her face, but also a lot of nervousness. She's not sure where this conversation is going to lead, but she seems to appreciate that you're speaking up for her. She has been worthless this entire time. When father fell sick, all she did was cry and mope. I made the attempt to fix it. I made the attempt to bring the fugitive to justice. I made the attempt to bring this worthless town under control. All she did was whine and cry and try to tell me what to do. She has outlived her usefulness. She's only alive now because she is my mother.
So, your mother tried to take action and understand the base emotion of a woman would have such love for a man or her son. She tries to keep you away from such distraught sights, and I don't think your mother would have told you, go away and do this, go away and do that. As someone who's not looking for sympathy, had a troubled upbringing, my mother was the only person that shielded me from things such as that. I think you, and you can take this however you want, have to show a little bit more respect for the lessons that she's tried to impart upon you. You grow up and you love someone for however long your mother's been with your father, and you're trying to understand that you can't do anything to help them. You're powerless. Is it your mother's fault that she has no abilities to help your father? No, it's not. So why do you take it out on her? Do you not think if your mother could solve everything right now, she would?
Perhaps there is wisdom in your words. However, she's an inadequate leader. She is nothing but emotions and whining. I can understand her attempting to coddle me and make me feel better, but this is why women should not serve as leaders. They do not understand that decisions have to be made.
I mean, I don't think that's something solely based upon women. I think that's just, as a human being, we are naturally emotional, and sometimes we let emotions, and I say emotions and having a quick glance at Avalon, get the better of us and put us in situations that we probably
The nation you come from, wherever it is, do you serve a king or do you serve a queen?
We serve Archons. I am from the nation of Tevinter, which I'm sure you are very well aware of.
I have never had a diplomat from Tevinter. This is intriguing. I have heard your nation is spat upon by the inferiority of the rest of the world, who do nothing but envy your success. You could be a valuable asset to Redcliffe.
When you are in a position of power, and I'm sure this is something you will come to learn, people are more than happy to point out your flaws, your mistakes, rather than your achievements.
People who are envious of power always seek to detach it from themselves, declare how great they could have been, while never achieving it. I understand your words. Let's come back to Lucius. So you figured out how you want to proceed.
Yes.
Okay, what are we doing?
So as I'm going to take the blood out into my makeshift lab here. Kind of look at it a little bit and inspect it. Look over at Drostov. This is a little bit, has a little bit more weight to it than I would expect. It's interesting.
I have dealt with poisons before and the like. The one that clings to the blood makes it heavy. Oh,
Was that an in character or out of character statement?
that was in character statement.
Ah.
I have poisoned people before.
Hmm.
Is this something I would know, Eric?
You may try, yes.
So nature for poison, because I can base my medicine off the wonders of nature.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not.
The poisons that you have seen in your service as a respectable young man of Ortsamar.
Problem solver.
Problem solver, cleaner. You were a waste management officer.
One of the very best.
One of the very best. You have dealt with exotic chemicals that are known to cause bad reactions in people. Seeing the vial of blood and its unusual weight and mass, and as Lucius is kind of moving the vial and watching it move, instead of moving like water, it moves almost like gel. Something has caused the blood in his body to almost solidify. It moves like jelly. It's way too heavy, it's way too thick. This is guaranteed to very quickly cause heart attacks. This could cause strokes, blood just not moving through the body. The poisons that you have read that do this kind of effect are lethal within minutes of ingestion and are usually fluids that are given through drinks. However, if this man has been unconscious for several days with blood like this pumping through his body, it is impossible for him to be alive. You wouldn't survive like this for 5 minutes.
It has to be magic. This shit kills in minutes.
There is nothing natural about what you see. With him being alive, it's impossible.
Yep, this shit kills in minutes. He has to be alive by some kind of magic.
His heart would have gone out, his brain would have stopped working, and all of that within minutes of this happening to him. And apparently he's been bedridden for 3 days.
I don't, given my alchemic knowledge and medical knowledge, I don't think I could appropriately really test this if this is like now some sort of solid substance or solidifying. Would that be a fair guess?
Have you seen stuff like this, or how do you test for it?
Yeah, I don't think I've run into anything. I would have run into anything like this before.
You have not personally, but you do like to. You're a scientist and you're an alchemist. You trade in this kind of knowledge. You have read about horrific things that people have done to use chemicals to do horrible things to other people. You have seen shit like this. You've never seen it happen to somebody, but you have the same conclusion as Drastov. If Arl Eamon's blood is like this, he would have been dead in minutes. Definitely not in a coma for 3 days now. That's impossible. This cannot happen. There's no natural way he's alive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever was given to him was exotic and horrible. It was bad.
Out of interest, I know this is a very long shot and I don't think it matters, but I'd like to take a small magnet from my smithing kit and to see if it is metallic in nature. I don't think it is. I might as well check for the sake of it.
You can roll a raw luck check.
I'm going to closely keep an eye on the substance in the vial when he does that.
Metallic in nature.
It is not. The Revenant continues to watch you uncomfortably. He is totally motionless other than his occasional breathing, which he should not be breathing.
That is... I'm not an undead expert, but that definitely seems out of ordinary.
Muscle memory, probably.
Okay.
You should make friends with the Revenant.
Anyway, know that the poison should have killed him. We know it is poison ingested orally, usually by way of drink. So the question is who has served our drinks.
That I would not know that.
Well, we have a prince who might be able to tell us.
Should I do my normal blood tests, or should we just keep it in the vial to be able to show?
Blood test. Absolutely do your blood test.
Okay, I will.
I'm just spitballing here. You have the actual science that might help us.
All right,
if
I'll
you
go
want
ahead
to
and
break this down and try to clean out whatever's in here and learn more, that will take a great deal of time to do.
Are we talking like days or a couple hours? Or?
It would take the better part of maybe 2 hours to really test this properly and go through all your research.
Okay.
You were not given hours in here to do this.
Sir Revenant, could you call some backup to escort me down? That way I can tell the noble prince what has happened, and you can watch the old man so he doesn't try anything stupid. Is this acceptable?
Is the doctor in the middle of something that cannot be stopped?
No?
Then you will both come.
No?
Okay.
Leave your equipment where it is. It will be returned to you if you do not return.
Okay. I'll set everything down and
The Revenant points down the hallway with his weapon, waiting for you to go in front of him.
we'll follow suit.
Esther's sword is big. Ugh.
I have an idea, guys, that will give us a very, very, very good indication to how this is going to go down.
Well, do you think we're back?
I'll let you guys go first.
Lucius, you go do the thing.
Okay.
The doctor returns. What have you found?
So we've discovered that more than likely, this is a poison. What's keeping him alive right now, though, is it must be pure magic. There's no natural reason why he should still be alive. His blood seems almost like sludge. His heart should have given out by now. Poisons that would do this sort of thing are usually, well, first off, it's incredibly rare, and it would have been excruciatingly painful, and it would have been served usually through like some sort of beverage, a drink, an evening tea that perhaps the Arl enjoyed, something like that.
So how do we cure it?
I'm going to need some more time to break down the sample of blood that led us this far. It would probably take a couple of hours for me to conduct all of the tests, and I didn't want to keep you waiting that long without saying something.
If I can interrupt, Lucius, did Arrow Eamon, if I can interrupt, please, did Arrow
Yeah.
Eamon meet with the delegate from General Logain?
He did.
And you said he is dead?
He is.
Well, we have someone that can talk to the dead. And we will get the answers we need from them. So we will find out if he is the person that has poisoned your father. And then you have already got the justice that you seek and want, if that is the case. And we know that Logain is behind all of this, because my belief is this is a political move.
Which of the four of you can speak to the dead?
Well, neither of us. It's one of our mages who is outside that you've kept from entering the castle.
I believe the body could be delivered to her. She doesn't have to come inside if your security is of, as is to be expected, utmost importance. Also, one thing to keep in mind, the poison is oral. It has to be most likely consumed with some kind of beverage. So whoever served your father is a likely suspect.
Again,
I'll nod in agreement.
If they shared drinks or the messenger brought an expensive bottle of wine, well, that just makes it even more likely. Conceal the poison in a gift. Classic.
it is courtesy to meet with a delegate from another noble, general, king, or whatever you want to call them, to have a drink or even a meal at that.
I will have the body delivered outside for your assistant to go through it and investigate whatever she must do.
Perfect. And that will give us the answers that we seek. And in regards to the delegate himself, you said so. One thing, obviously, I don't know what other way to ask this, but may we at least see the body before it is brought out so we know it's the correct one we've been shown?
This is out of character. I'm not understanding what you're asking.
Well, I don't want him bringing out some random fucking dead body.
Well, why would he bring you a random dead body?
Don't know. Because I mean, we're all at the point where we know there's two voices here. This isn't actually Connell speaking. So it's not that hard.
I get that, but if he was gonna lie to you and bring you the wrong one, how would you know anyway?
I wouldn't. I'm hoping that he would show me the dead emissary right now. This is what I'm asking.
Oh, okay. I see what you're trying to get at then. I will have it pulled from the dungeons now, and then it will be dragged outside to wherever you need it.
Perfect.
You want me to quickly inform them that this is a body that needs to be investigated? Oh, well, if you don't want me to leave, I can yell really loudly.
The doctor will stay and perform whatever he needs to perform. The rest of you are free to come and go until our business is completed. I believe we are working together at this point, are we not?
Yeah.
You are doing what you agreed to do. You will help bring my father back. In return, you will have the power of Redcliffe's legions to depose Loghain and combat the Blight. You have my word as Lord of Redcliffe.
Quick question. I hate to be a stickler here, but when we bring your father back, you will no longer be the Lord.
I will not. But my father is an honorable man. He will not break my vow because he becomes in charge. The Blight must be destroyed and Loghain stopped. My father is not an idiot. He will know that himself.
Perfect. Just getting clarification, that is all. And Theo will leave.
I'll stick with the old man. Might as well give him some moral support. Best of luck, Evelyn.
I would follow Theo.
So Drastov and Lucius are staying behind?
Hey, if anyone needs to bust down a door so the old man can escape, it's gonna be me. I'm not leaving without my explosive man.
It's good to be an arms dealer, right?